Hello and welcome back to Mass Effect. Once again, I'm sorry for the disruption of normal schedules and that it has been such a long time since we played. But, well, things have just not been working out the way I'd like them to. Regardless, now we are back and let us enjoy this time by speaking with Garrus.
Commander, nice work out there. I knew working with a Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules.
Cool.
You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
Yeah, I hate that.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
And that was your reason to leave?
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
That's the way. If you go up in promotion, you get more responsibility. And more responsibility means you have to, well, do more reporting, that you handle things responsibly. Actually makes sense. Scores for Shepherd Pie, it's more like, you'll get over it.
It's not the end of the world. You'll have tougher decisions soon enough.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Sounds good to me.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
Yeah, you can even paint like a big skull on the front of your armor. No lower jaw, just very long upper teeth. Yeah? It also looks angry and such. Now this is just a salesperson, we don't need to talk with them. At least not yet. I don't think we have anything cool to buy yet. He gets better as we level up and get more stuff in the galaxy. So we will be talking with him later, but right now he really doesn't have great stuff to offer. Rexy boy!
Shepard, what can I do for you?
That's awesome. Personal inquiry.
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story.
Story is all
Go
the
ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Don't be an ass.
You Krogan live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
Yeah.
They tried the same with us, but we fought them off.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it was actually pretty much more of a scuffle over one planet. It really was not the same. It wasn't?
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation?
Yeah.
An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
That's also kind of the cruel thing about the genophage. Like, the children do, like, they are conceived, so there's the whole pregnancy and eggs, but, you know, they die. It's pretty horrible. So not exactly.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
I won't then.
Sorry, Rex. I wasn't trying to get you upset.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
What is killing you then?
Are
Me?
some people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
So?
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
And genophage?
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it.
Yeah, we don't have one of those on our crew yet.
All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far.
Oh, okay, so a lot
Every
also just
Krogan
die
infected,
before that.
Everyone. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
I see.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
I wonder if we now get the good conversation.
Shepard.
Rex.
Yes! Hurrah!
Shepard.
Rex.
Shepard.
Again!
Rex.
Again!
Shepard.
Rex.
Shepard.
Rex.
Yes, I will be
Shepard.
doing this
Rex.
for a couple of minutes.
Shepard.
Rex.
Best
Shepard.
conversation
Rex.
ever.
Shepard.
Rex.
Thanks.
Shepard.
Rex.
Shepard.
Rex.
Holy shit! You should just make your character be called Rex Shepard. Yes, perfect idea for future playthrough.
Shepard.
Rex.
Shepard.
Rex.
Shepard.
Tyrannosaurus,
Rex.
Shepard.
dog,
Rex.
Shepard.
German Shepherd.
Rex.
Shepard.
Rex.
Okay, enough of this. For now. Enough of this. For now. Alright, engineering. That looks pretty. And I believe there's still some, yes, lore together here. This looks very nice. So let's first talk with the engineer.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
She bothering you?
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real
She's an
knack for
intelligent
technology,
risk.
that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I didn't. No. She's very useful.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander.
I
I'm
also have
guessing
a
that's not
time
why
for
you came down
ass.
here.
That's why I found the ass set. Nah, get it. Personal question, who are you?
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Tell us about the Normandy.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's
so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
What are these stealth systems about?
Fill me in on the IES stealth systems. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
Oh, invisible?
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, encounters in space, like a dogfight would still be measured in kilometers. I even think in Star Wars that's kind of like you start shooting at like a kilometer, and like long range weapons you start firing at 9 kilometers. So yeah, FTL gives us away.
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up the FTL, Blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Sweet.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Hey, some more knowledge learned. Anything? Well, then I think Tally is the last one we need to chat with.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
This ship is special, just like birds.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
So you're into ships, huh? Into them, you
I
know?
had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
That was 300 years ago. Are they even space floody?
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Also, would mining fuel encounter like asteroids that might have already been claimed? I don't know. Tell us about the Quarians.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
Well, 17 million for a whole species? That is very tiny. My country, and I live in a small country, has more than 70 million people in it. So, yeah, galactic scale, really itty bitty tiny. Like what?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
It's the Conclave.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
Well, that sounds pretty democratic. I don't trust it.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
I think they kind of forget that in later games. We'll get to that.
I want to know more about the Geth.
Yeah,
I
our
doubt I
enemy.
can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Tell me.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI.
This is all pretty
Over
important
time,
lore
we made
stuff, by the
small
way.
modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Isn't AI research very illegal?
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal.
Yeah,
The changes
skirting
were
the
so
bounds.
insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought.
Yeah.
But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network.
Swank out with your
A
steering
million
wheel
Geth
with
thinking
it.
simultaneously created an
Over the
inherently
line.
unstable matrix.
What's this neural network?
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in the group, the smarter they are.
So are they like a hive mind?
So there's some sort of group consciousness.
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
Yeah, let's actually let's not act like we're dumb and let's just continue on. Why did they turn on you?
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine,
Your purpose is to
this
fetch
caused a
butter.
near panic among my people.
Why?
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves.
I don't still
It was
see what's wrong.
inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Yeah. Like that next step. One, that assumption of rising up. Not too. That's a big assumption. Logical, but a big assumption. 2, well, they might rise up against us. Let's kill them before they can! Also not the best conclusion you can get to. What do you expect?
You didn't really think they'd just let you destroy them without a fight, did you?
The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated.
We'd hoped they were
The
too
war was
stupid to
long
fight
and
back.
bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld.
We'd hoped we would still be murdering
We
children.
feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Yeah, they defend themselves. I think that's the answer.
It's hard to feel sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place. But we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
I'm not surprised.
You didn't give them a real good first impression.
You really think things would be any different if we waited for them to act first? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they've joined up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
Oh yeah, well, fair point to the discussion. Let's talk a little bit about the pilgrimage.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Sounds dangerous. I like it.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
I want to talk about something else.
I think we've talked
Like what?
enough. Goodbye.
I should go.
See you later.
So boom, big lore drop. And I think that we will be heading back to the bridge. We've done enough lore checking and met all of our crew. Found their interesting stories and personalities, and mostly them just the aliens just talking about their species. Holy shit, these loading elevators are faster. Like normally that would be like at least a minute minimal that you would be on that elevator. So, whoopsie daisy on... Oh, hello, I saw something to examine. Yes, point defense. That's free XP right there. Boom! 28, but it's free. So, Therum. We've had Therum. I think we've solidly checked up this whole system, so there's nothing to... Oh, hello! We did not, apparently. Or did we? Yeah, I think we did, but it just forgot that we scanned this one before. So we went to Sparta, yes? Let's go to Sparta.
Message coming in.
Ooh.
Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, my name is Nasana Dantius. I have a job for you. I can't say any more in an unsecured communication. If you're interested in hearing my offer, meet me on the Citadel so we can talk in person. I'll be waiting in the Diplomat's Lounge on the Presidium.
Well, log that and things to do for next episode. if there's still things to do in this system, or we've...
Commander, I'm picking up a signal from the planet's surface. It looks like an automated distress beacon.
I guess not. Aeolus. There still isn't carbon dioxide, it's a nitrogen atmosphere. I think next time then, we will be landing on Aeolus. See about that distress signal, what that is about. For now though, survey. Thank you, Gas Giant. And everyone here, including birdies, wish you a good day. Bye bye.